U.S. Congressman Andy Biggs. Andy, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Chris. Good to be with you.
So I said this earlier today. I'm going to ask you, hey, Andy, since the last time I talked to you, anything go on out there?
Well, I'm only laughing to keep from crying, right? Because you got the bad bill going, you got the raid on Trump, you got the weaponization of the FBI. Surely the weaponization of the IRS is coming. You got every institution in the hands of the radicals and extremists. And at this point, I think that Biden has crossed the Rubicon. We have to wonder if he can get back across it so we can get back to being a free America. I mean, that really, we've really see so much in jeopardy for this country in the 18 months that Joe Biden has been president. But the infrastructure was laid previously over the last 40 years, but certainly Obama, and now you see, you got me on this rant going.
All I said was, "What's going on, dude?" Jeez.
Well, it's amazing. It is amazing because you just, I cannot believe what I'm seeing go on back there, and it's happening around the country, and it's all been weaponized. Our own government's being weaponized as we go forward against the American people.
So what am I missing here, Andy? What's with the timing of this? Is this the timing that there's so many there's so many Trump candidates rolling into the midterms? Is that part of it? Are they goading him into running, not running? What's your take on this?
Well, I'm going to base it on what their bulldog attorney Mark Elias said, and Mark Elias said, "Well, this does two things. Number one, if he were to be convicted of the charges that it looks like they're going after him for, there's a specific provision that says you can never run for office again." And there's not too many provisions in the federal law that say that. So that he said that would be a great thing. And even if and what Elias said is, even if he can't, if he's not convicted, because that'd be really hard to do, the fact that he would be charged and he would have to defend himself while running for president, that would be a, quote, blockbuster in American political history. So that's what I think it's about. They are still after Trump. He's in their head. His type of candidates are winning like crazy. One of them came back, Joe Kent in Washington. I don't know if you saw this, as they counted the votes in that crazy jungle primary over there. He was down, but as more votes came, he's now in the number 2 position, so he's going to be in the general. They don't want that. They don't like his supporters. They hate us. They hate America. They hate Donald Trump. Trump is the symbol, and they think if they cut off the head, they stop the America First movement.
Now, let's talk about our friends and the independent voters out there. How does this play with them? What but the Republican Party still needs to do the work to remind them what the danger is of these kind of actions, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Republicans can't just keep saying, "Well, we're not as bad as Biden."
Right.
You have to remind people what was it like when we're paying less than $2 a gallon for gas? What was it like when you had 6% GDP growth? What was it like when you had 93 million people in the workforce instead of 70 million in the workforce? What was it like when every demographic was seeing real wage gains because of the relatively low inflation with higher earnings? What was it like when we were feared and respected throughout the world? What was it like when you actually had a president that was trying to enforce the law so you had safety in your own communities? People need to realize that, and that's where the Republicans our platform needs to incorporate those America First ideals. People want their kids to go to school and learn and not be indoctrinated. They want the freedom and peace that we had when you had a Republican form of government instead of this kind of proto-fascist type of government that's being ushered in by $5 a gallon gas, and buy an EV. If you don't like the price of gas, go buy an electric vehicle. Those types of things. We have got to remind people of it. And you know what? We saw a break in Arizona's primaries. The independents grabbed more Republican ballots by far than Democrat ballots. Nobody likes what's happening in our country today.
Tell me about because in the end, right, when Trump said the media is the enemy of the American people, That was pretty much dead on for most of these people. Talk about the D.C. bureaucracy. What percentage of the D.C. bureaucracy is a problem? And then if somehow the Republicans got both houses and a presidency, how do you give the D.C. bureaucracy the proper enema? What does that look like?
Well, I mean, you've hit it. I mean, the fourth branch of government is the bureaucracy. It has incredible amount of power. Congress over the last 75 to 100 years has delegated so much power to the bureaucracy. And you say, what percentage of it is dangerous? I can't think of 1% of it that's not. What has to happen is if we had control of the executive and legislative branch, again, I would hope that this time bills that I introduced when we had it last time would actually get hearings. I mean, I was trying to dismantle even small, redundant programs and agencies, and I couldn't get Republicans to join me in that. But I mean, you go after low-hanging fruit, things like the Department of Education, but you're going to also have to realize that I think there are, in 80 agencies there are police departments, certified police officers. Why does every agency have to have federal police there? So you have to go after that. You have to look at where the bureaucracy has been weaponized and been given authority to exceed its bounds, the bounds of constitutional delegation. You have got to go after them, and I think we have to have a legitimate discussion about duplicative crimes, federal crimes. I think we have to, because most states have a pretty sophisticated criminal code. Why do we have to have a federal code as well? You have to then look at things like the FISA court and the FISA law to see how is that being abused, because it is being abused. All of these things need to be on the table for discussion, because you have to get back to a smaller federal government so that the states can actually govern. And when the states can govern, we're going to be a much stronger, better country.
All right, Andy, we got 30 seconds left before we got to go. Tell me about give the message to both the Republicans out there that work hard, the PCs, but then a lot of these America First people have been yelling and calling everyone a rhino as they go to victory. Talk about bringing those two sides together. And again, 30 seconds, sir. Sorry.
Yeah. That's okay. Look, everybody that's running in Arizona on the left, the Democrats, it's the most radical leftist slate in the history of the state. We have got to unify as Republicans, whether you're squishy or conservative. You got to do it. We have to unify. We have to beat them.
Andy Biggs, thanks for the time, man. I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Chris. Appreciate it.
Later, sir.